Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am Mujtaba and I am learning SOC Level 1 from TryHackMe. We'll go through these walkthroughs together and try to understand in depth what exactly is SOC Level 1. Now, today's topic is SOC Team Internals, and in that, the subject is SOC L1 Alert Triage. So, let's start with task 1, that is introduction. To better understand what exactly is this SOC L1 alert triage, I have made a small PowerPoint so that we can continue from there. Think of SOC, that is Security Operations Center, as a security guard station where all the guards, that is L1 analysts. So all the guards are sitting and monitoring the systems. Now, here they are monitoring for company's entire computer network. Now, L1 analyst is a rookie security guard sitting in front of giant wall of monitors. So what happens? His job is to look at all the events or the alerts triggered by security tools and analyze it and find out if the alert is dangerous or not. Now, what exactly is an alert? Imagine a burglar alarm on a door. So if somebody tries to break into it or tries to forcibly open the door, the alarm will start beeping, right? Now, the next thing is in cybersecurity, an alert is digital beep, right? It is a warning message generated by security tools. What are security tools? Like SIEM, security information and event management systems. Those security tools, they may generate alert, or they will send a message saying that if somebody is trying to breach the system, they will say, hey, I saw something that might be bad. Of course, as an L1 analyst, you need to find out whether it is really bad or a normal breach. Normal things which our SIEM has detected as breach. Now, it is crucial to know that an alert is not proof of hack. Whenever an alert is happening, whenever as an L1 analyst we receive an alert, it doesn't always mean that somebody is trying to hack our system. It may be due to some misconfiguration or somebody trying to do something which may sound suspicious to our security monitoring tool, and suddenly it will create an alert. So our job is to figure out if it is a real burglar or just somebody trying to open the door, right? Now, the life cycle of an alert. Alert starts with event generation. Something is happening on some systems and somebody is logging in, or some files are getting downloaded. So all these things will lead to an event generation. This is just a raw log. Based on these logs, the security tools, it will see all the events and it will compare it to the rules we have given to the security tools, and based on that rules and all the log, the security tools will create an alert. For example, there was an event, somebody was trying to log in from another country at 3 a.m., and if such thing happens, the security tools will try to alert immediately, and that the rule is set accordingly and turn that event into alert. Now, your job as L1 security analyst is to you have to look at that alert and go into depth about this alert. And you have to answer the three questions, that is this alert real? If it is real, how bad it is, and what do I do next? Now, resolution, that is almost the last part of an alert. What you need to do is you have to check that particular alert and find out whether it is true positive or false positive. True positive means there is a real threat, whereas false positive means it's not a threat, but somebody might be doing something into the company which might have triggered the alert. Whenever there is a false positive, you need to close it by writing it down that it was a false positive, and you have to give reasons why it was a false positive. If suppose it is a true positive, you have to escalate it to the level 2 analyst. Level 2 analyst will dig deep into that alert and try to find out what exactly the threat is. As an L1, your brain needs to work like a doctor in emergency room. You don't perform major surgery, you quickly check patients and decide who needs immediate help. There may be many alerts coming, and your job is to find out which alert might be risky or a threat to the company, and you need to handle that threat effectively. For every word alerts you will look at, you need to answer these: the who, which computer or user is involved. Okay. The what exactly happened? A failed login or a virus scan is happening. A firewall blocked something. The whys. Does this make sense for this company? Is the IT guy doing maintenance, or is a random account downloading hacking tool? Let's say if suppose an HR manager is trying to upload a software that looks suspicious, you need to analyze it, whether that particular task or the log or an event or an alert create sense or not. Now there are different alert statuses and classification. When you investigate, you will change the alert status so your boss or the L2 analyst knows what you found. New unassigned, nobody has looked at it yet. In progress, let's say you have been assigned an alert and you are looking into it, so it will go into your account and you are currently investigating that particular alert. That means it's not closed yet. Now false positive, you investigated and decided it was not an attack. The hacker from the foreign country was actually the CEO using company's VPN while on vacation. When you came to know that, okay, this was our CEO who was using it from a foreign country at 3 a.m., maybe in that particular country that there is a time difference and it is a daytime, then you finally decide that it's not a threat, then you will mark it as false positive. True positive means whenever you confirmed it is an attack and it needs an action, you will mark it as true positive. Whenever you find true positive, your job is to forward this alert to your superior or the L2 analyst. You verified it's a real threat and you are passing it to more experienced L2 analyst to handle that particular alert, and you will mark it as escalated. Your mindset for this room should be like, you are not a hacker right now, you are not doing any hacking work, you are just a detective. Your job is not to fix the hacked computer, it is simply to decide if this alert is dangerous enough or you can handle it on your own. Now to continue with this, uh, that is what introduction is, and we will just I want you to just go through these learning objectives. You have to familiarize with the concept of SOC alerts, explore alert field statuses and classification, learn how to perform alert triage as an alert L1 analyst, practice with real alerts and SOC workflows, and all those things. These are our learning objectives. Prerequisites are understanding common attacks on network, Windows, and Linux. Know SOC roles and duties, especially of L1 analyst. Now, SOC dashboard, you were granted access to SOC dashboard in TryHackMe SIEM, and you will need it to complete most of the tasks. Open the attached website in the okay. So we'll mark this as complete and move to task 2, that is events and alert. Imagine you are a SOC intern sitting next to your mentor and looking at their screen, and suddenly alerts are everywhere. You see email marked as phishing popping up again and again. Then there's unusual Gmail login location. And then you see one alert sitting in red: unapproved Mimicads usage. Okay, that one definitely looks serious. But here's the question: where do these alerts actually come from? How does SOC analyst go from a millions of activities happening across the company to just a few alerts that need attention? We will just look at this from events to alerts. Everything starts with an event. For example, someone logs into their computer, a program starts running, or maybe a user downloads a file. These are all events happening inside an organization every single second. The system records these activities as logs. Your window machine can create logs, firewalls can create logs, Cloud service creates logs, security tools create logs. And in large companies, we are not talking about few logs. We could be talking about millions of logs every day. As a SOC analyst, you are not going to sit there and manually read millions of logs. That's where security tools come. These logs are collected and sent to platforms such as SIEM, EDR, SOAR, ITSM. And these tools look for things that might be suspicious. For example, imagine a user is logging in from a UAE. A few minutes later, the same account logs in from another country. That activity might trigger an alert, unusual login location. So, an alert is basically a notification generated by a security tool when something suspicious, unusual, or potentially dangerous is detected. Instead of looking through millions of raw logs, the SOC analyst can focus on the alerts that actually need investigation. Of course, that doesn't mean every alert is a real attack. And that's where alert triage comes in. Now, where do we manage this alert? So there are alert managing management platforms. Depending on the organization, alerts can appear in different platforms. You might see them inside SIEM. So example of SIEMs are like Splunk. SIEM have solid alert management capabilities and are a perfect choice for most SOC teams. You could also see alert directly inside an EDR, such as Microsoft Defender or CrowdStrike. While EDR and NDR provide their own alert dashboard, it is preferred to use SIEM or SOAR. In larger SOC environment, companies might use SOAR platform to collect and manage alerts and from multiple security tools in one place. So examples could be Splunk SOAR or Cortex SOAR. Some organization may even use ticketing system to track alerts and investigation. So the tools can change, but the basic idea stays the same. Whenever something is happening, it gets logged. The security tool, whether it is SIEM, EDR, SOAR, or ticketing systems, they will analyze it. And if it looks suspicious, an alert is created. Now let's talk about who actually handles these alerts. As an SOC L1 analyst, you are basically on the front line. You'll probably spend a big part of your day looking at alerts and asking, is this actually malicious or is this a normal activity? Depending on the organization, you might receive just a few alerts in a day, or you could be dealing with dozens or even hundreds of alerts. Your job is to investigate them, separate the real threat from the harmless one. If you determine that something is actually suspicious or malicious, you can escalate it to L2 analyst for deeper investigation and remediation. The L2 analyst goes further into investigation. Meanwhile, SOC engineers help make sure the detection tools and alerts are properly configured and contain usual information. SOC managers keep track of how efficiently the team is handling alerts because missing a real attack or taking too long to respond can have serious consequences. So when you are looking at the SOC dashboard and seeing alert move from new to in progress or eventually being closed or escalated, there's actually an entire process happening behind the scene. And as an SOC L1 analyst, understanding that process is going to be one of your most important skill, because your job isn't just to look at alerts, your job is to figure out which one actually matters. Now what we'll do is we'll answer these questions. What is the number of alerts you see in the SOC dashboard? Okay, where is the dashboard? Do we have to click on this? Let's see, click on this. Okay, now what is the number of alerts you see in SOC dashboard? Okay, we are able to see one, two, three, four, five alerts. So the number of alerts are, let's write five. That's right. What is the name of most recent alert you see? Okay, we have to see based on this. This is on 1358, 21st of May 2025. Okay, rest of all are before it. So the recent one is double extension file creation. I believe so. So let's copy this and paste it over here. Let's close this topic 2, task 2, and we'll start with our task 3, that is alert properties. Now that we understand how alerts are generated, let's look at what happens when we actually open one. When you are working as a SOC analyst, you won't see a message saying something suspicious happened, good luck. An alert contains important information that helps you understand what happened and let you decide what to do next. The layout might look different depending on whether you are using Splunk or Microsoft Defender or Elastic or any other security platform. But generally, most alerts contain some important properties. Now, what are those properties? Let's discuss it one by one. The first thing you will usually see is alert time. This tells you when the alert was created. But there's something important. The alert time and event time are not always the same. For example, the suspicious activity might happen at 3:32. The security tool processes the logs, analyzes the activities, and then creates the alert at 3:35. The event happened first, and the alert was generated a few minutes later. That's why during an investigation, you should pay attention to both times. Now, the next thing is alert name. This gives you a quick summary of what the security tool detected. Now, in this example, in previous task also we have done it. This is the alert name, double extension file creation, right? It can be anything else also, like unusual login location, email marked as phishing, or maybe Windows RDP brute force. The alert name is usually based on detection rule that triggered it. Think of it as the title of a problem you are about to investigate. But remember, the alert name is only telling you what the system suspects. It doesn't automatically mean the attack is actually happening. Now, the third property is alert severity. Severity tells you how urgent the alert is considered. You might see something like low, medium, high, or critical. Now, it can be categorized into different categories. Data exfiltration could be marked as high or critical. A failed login attempt may be low severity. So severity helps you understand how urgently should I look at this alert. Now the next property is alert status. As we have discussed in the previous topic, that the status of the alert could be new or unassigned, in progress or pending, closed or resolved. If the alert is marked as a new, nobody may have started work on it. If it is in progress, someone is currently investigating it. And if it is closed or resolved, the investigation is finished. Next property is alert verdict. It is also called as classification, and it tells us the result of the investigation. Was this a real threat, or was it just a normal activity that triggered a security rule? If it's a real threat, we classify it as a true positive. If the alert was triggered, but after investigation we find that there was no actual threat, it's a false positive. So the next property is alert assignee. This shows who is responsible for investigating that alert. This helps prevent multiple analysts from accidentally investigating exactly same alert. Assignee can sometimes be called as alert owner. Assignee takes responsibility of that particular alert. Seventh property is alert description. Now, if you want to understand why the alert was triggered, the alert description is extremely useful. This may help or explain things like what detection logic triggered the alert, why could this activity indicate an attack, and sometimes it may even give you instructions on how to investigate it. And the last one is alert fields. Provide SOC analyst comment and values on which alert was triggered. This is where you can find the actual details related to activities that triggered the alert. For example, you might see the affected host name, the username, the command that was executed, the IP address involved, or many other pieces of information which can be useful in your analysis. The exact field will depend on type of alert, and these are often the details you'll use to start your investigation. For example, if you receive an alert for suspicious PowerShell activity, you might immediately check which computer was affected, which user ran the command, or what command was actually executed. And that's where the investigation really begins. So we'll just have a look at this once again. The first property is the time, date and time. Second property is the name. Third property is the severity. Fourth property is the status, whether it is awaiting action, closed, resolved, or different names can be given depending on the organization. The verdict, whether it is true, positive, whatever it is. Assignee, the name of the analyst. And the seventh one is a description of that particular alert activity, what happened. And the last one, it will give a little bit more information about alert fields. Now, to answer this question, what was the verdict for unusual VPN login location alert? I think we need to do it in the same uh, task. SOC dashboard. Okay, unusual VPN login location. So what it is asking? It is asking what was the verdict of the unusual VPN login location. So the verdict for that is false positive. So it was a false positive. So we'll write it false positive. What user was mentioned in the unusual VPN login location alert? Unusual VPN login location alert, and the user was T Ross from L1. We'll just copy it and paste it. T Ross from L1. Oh, sorry, I was talking about this assignee, not the user. So the user is M Clark. Oh, sometimes no, you have to see, read the questions properly to answer it properly. And now we have completed our task 3. Let's mark it as closed, done, and we'll start with our task 4, that is alert prioritization. Okay, so now we know how to read and understand the alerts. But here's the next problem. Imagine you open your SOC dashboard and instead of one alert, you have hundreds of them. So, which one do you investigate first? Do you just pick one randomly? Probably not. The process of deciding which alert should be investigated first is called as alert prioritization. And this is extremely important in SOC because while you are spending time investigating one alert, another one could potentially be a real attack. Every SOC team can have its own prioritization process. In many organizations, the SIEM or EDR, they can automatically sort alerts based on specific rules. But let's look at a simple and common approach. Among these common approaches, first one is filtering the alert. First, we need to make sure we are looking at alerts that actually need attention. For example, imagine you see an alert that is already marked as in progress. That probably means other analyst is already investigating it, or maybe the alert is already closed. There's no reason to pick that up again. So first, we filter the queue and focus on alerts that are new or unassigned and not yet resolved. Basically, we are asking which alert still need someone to look at them, and once we filter it out, we can move to the next step, that is sorting by severity. Now let's assume we have 10 new alerts. Some of the alerts are of low severity, some are medium, one is high, and one is critical. Which one we should investigate first? Usually, the answer is critical. The first one we should consider is to look at critical alerts, then high, then medium, and finally low. The reason is that detection rules are generally designed so that critical alerts have higher chances of representing a serious threat. What if you have two alerts with same severity? Let's say there are two alerts which are both critical. Which one do you investigate first? Now, here we will sort it by time and we will investigate the older alert first and end with the newest ones. Why? Imagine both alerts are related to real breach. The attacker connected to the older alert has potentially had more time inside the environment. They could already be moving through the network, collecting data, or even stealing it. Meanwhile, the newer alert may represent attack that has just started. So after filtering and sorting by severity, we generally look at the time and start with the oldest alert first. Let's answer this question. Should you first prioritize medium over low severity alerts? So we should always prioritize medium over low severity. So answer would be yeah. Should you first take the newest alert and then the older one? No. Nay. The answer would be nay. Why? Because the older, as we have discussed just before, the attacker connected to the older alert, he might be there a longer time inside our environment and they could be doing lots of things in that time. So the answer would be nay. Now assign yourself to the first priority alert and change its status to in progress. Okay, we need to assign ourselves to first priority alert and change its status to progress in progress. The name of your selected alert will be the answer to the question. Okay, so let's go to our SIEM dashboard. This is our SIEM dashboard, and this is what it looks like. Priority will be, we will see this severity, and the priority over here is high critical. So we should first consider handling this thing. So we have to assign ourselves. Where is the assign? Okay, we need to assign ourselves. Okay, edit. Okay, here assignee. Okay, you status in progress. What is the question? Assign yourself to the first priority alert and change its status to in progress. Okay, that's all we need to do. Severe critical verdict. We will not give verdict. It is in progress. Okay, we'll just save it for the now for the time period, and the name of your selected alert will be the answer to the question. Okay, we have selected the name, we have selected this, and this will be the answer to the question. Is it right? So that's correct answer, and we have completed our task 4, and we'll move to task 5, that is alert triage. Finally, we have reached the part where we actually start working on the alert. We have learned where alerts come from. We have learned how to read them. And we have learned how to decide which alert to investigate first. You have picked your alert. What do you actually do next? This is called as alert triage. You might also hear people call it as alert handling, alert processing, alert investigation, or alert analysis. They all basically refer to the process of reviewing an alert and deciding whether it's a real threat or not. But in this course, we'll call it as alert triage. Now, depending on SOC teams, the exact process can be slightly different. But generally, we can break it into three main action or three main stages. That is initial action, investigation, and final actions. Let's go through them one by one. Before jumping straight into the investigation, there are few things we need to do first. The first thing is usually to assign the alert to yourself, which we did in our previous task. This tells the rest of the SOC team, I'm handling this one. Then you change the alert status to in progress. We did this in our previous task. Again, this helps prevent another analyst from picking up the same alert and doing duplicate work. Once you have taken ownership, take a moment to understand what you are looking at. Check the alert name, description, severity, and any important indicators or details included in the alert, like date, time, etc. Don't rush into clicking through logs without understanding the alert first. Now, this is the most important and sometimes the most challenging part of alert triage. Your goal here is to understand what actually happened. Is this a legitimate activity or is this potentially malicious? Some SOC teams make this easier by providing something called a workbook, which is also called as a playbook or runbook. Basically, these are instructions, a guide which will help you through the investigation. For example, if you are investigating a suspicious login, the playbook might tell you first check the user, then check the login location, look at the IP address, review previous login activity, and then decide whether the activity looks legitimate or suspicious. But what if there isn't a playbook? You need to use your own investigation process. First, identify who or what is affected. Is it the user or a specific computer, a cloud account, a server, or a network device, or maybe even a website? Next, look at what actually happened. Was it a suspicious login? Is it possible malware or a phishing email? A strange command running on a machine? Then don't just look at the single event that triggered that alert. Look at what happened before and after it. Looking at the surrounding activity can give you a much bigger picture. You can also use threat intelligence platforms or any other available resources to investigate suspicious files, IP addresses, domains, or other indicators. Was this activity actually malicious? If yes, you classify it as true positive. If not, it's a false positive. And depending on what you find, you may need to escalate the alert to another analyst or a team. But your job isn't finished the moment you decide on a verdict. You also need to document what you found and a clear comment explaining what you investigated, what evidence you found, and why you reached your final verdict. Think of it this way: if another analyst opened this alert tomorrow, they should be able to understand exactly what happened and why you made that decision. Once everything is documented, you can return to the dashboard and move the alert to closed status. And that's the basic alert triage process. So, to recap quickly, first take ownership of the alert and understand what you are investigating. Then investigate the affected user or system, the suspicious activity, and the events surrounding it. Finally, make your verdict, document your finding, escalate if necessary, and close the alert. This might all sound a lot, but as we continue through the labs and start investigating real example, these steps will start to feel much more natural. And this is exactly what you will be doing as SOC analyst. Now, if you didn't receive a flag after your triage, it means that the values you set are wrong. You can reset the SOC dashboard by clicking restart on the top right in the TryHackMe SIEM. Okay, so we need to answer the questions and get some flags. Which flag did you receive after you correctly triaged the first priority alert? Let's restart this. First priority is critical, and what we did here is we assigned ourselves in progress before, but we didn't receive any uh, flag on this. Now here, let's study this particular uh, alert. It says potential data exfiltration. Okay, so we need to check what exactly is this. This rule detects 5 or more gigabytes of data sent from single device to a single destination within a day, which may indicate data exfiltration to untrusted location. Now here destination is star.zoom.us. The source IP address is this one. Source network is UK4 meeting room. Sent data 5.8 GB, received data 5.2 GB. Uh, let's restart this and we will take first priority alert. First priority alert is this one, edit, assign to ourselves, in progress. Severity, we need to decide its severity. It is written as critical. Okay, this was what we did before. It is asking potential data exfiltration. The rule detects 5 or more gigabytes of data sent from single device to a single destination within a day, which may indicate data exfiltration to untrusted location. Zoom.us. This is the source IP and it was for meeting room. Sent data is 5.8 GB, 5.2 GB is received data. So, this is a Zoom call actually, and in Zoom call, usually a huge amount of data is used, upload and download of data. Now, we will write comment here. Mm, the comment should be let's copy this comment. However, it was a Zoom call, and when using Zoom call, HD calls, high amount of data is generally transferred or used. So, as it is a Zoom call, this data usage is uh, justifiable. So, we will mark it as low and we will make it as false positive, and we will mark this status as closed, and we'll just save this. and it says great work and correct verdict. Claim your flag. We will copy this flag and paste here. Looks like lot of Zoom meeting. Yes, it is. Which flag did you receive after you correctly triaged the second priority alert? So now our task is to look for second priority alert. Okay, this case is closed. What is second? There are two awaiting actions. So second priority will be this one, which is high. Now we will look into it in detail. This rule detect a creation of double extension file like star.pdf.exe or gif.ink, often used by hackers in phishing attack to trick user into opening the malicious executable. Okay, this is the host. Process name is chrome.exe. Process user is sconway. Target file. Okay, this is the target file cat 2025 mp4.exe. Okay, and even this looks suspicious. Let's look at this MD5 hash. Uh, so we'll check this hash if it is, if we can find it online. Malware hash. Check. Let's see it in malware hash registry. We'll paste this hash, submit it. Okay, we could not find that this hash is having some issue. Okay, but still, this is a suspicious one. So what we will do is user has downloaded a software cat 25. Okay, this software user has downloaded. User has downloaded via untrusted website, which is classic sign of malware downloads, and MD5 hash is not having any record, but this looks suspicious in online database. But this looks suspicious. Okay, its us status, we'll mark it as closed. Severity, we will mark it as critical, and true positive. So we'll save it. Great work, and we got our flag. We'll just copy this flag and paste it over here. Now the last one. Which flag did you receive after you correctly triaged the third priority alert? Which flag did you receive after you correctly triaged the third priority alert? Okay.
Let's move to our third priority alert, that is this one. Download from GitHub repository. Okay. The rule detects any download from GitHub. While GitHub stores lot of great project, it also stores malicious script and exploit that must not be downloaded by the user. Okay. So let's go to this website or Google this, what type of website it is. We'll just try. Okay, this is a repository. Let's Google it. What type of GitHub repo it is? React is JavaScript library for building user interface. The main purpose of this repository is to continue evolving React code development of. Okay, what is on GitHub? React usually refers to the official open source repository for the React JavaScript library maintained by Meta, Facebook, and open community of developers. Okay, so this looks legitimate website, and G Chandler is using from IT team. Okay, the user is G Chandler from IT team, and source is VP and developers. So developer team usually use such type of GitHub repos. So what we will do is, let's copy this first. Okay, edit, paste it over here. User, okay, user G Chandler from IT team used React GitHub. Let's copy from here. On GitHub, React usually refers to the official open source repository for the React JavaScript library. Okay, so we will write second user we have entered. We will keep the source host and source network as it is. We'll write our comment also. Usually, developer team in IT department need to use such repos for development work, and nothing looks suspicious as it is official repo from Meta. Okay. Assigning ourselves status, we will mark it as closed. Severity, we will mark it as low, and it is false positive. We'll just save it, and that's it. We got our flag. We'll go back, and we will just paste. That's how we finished our task 5. And to conclusion, congratulations on successful triaging the alert. Of course, closing the alert as true positive won't prevent the attack, but it is a great start. Next, you will learn about proper alert, commenting and case reporting, correct escalation procedure, and actions made by L2 analyst after the escalation. We hope you enjoyed the room. Yes, we enjoyed it, and we have completed our room. And I hope you understood it. I would request you to please like, follow so that you will get updates regularly.